I was like, I can set it to 5 hours, but then it'll only pop up like twice on stream. And that's
like straight alcohol at the bottom. Fuck.
Hell yeah.
And we are
See, that's
back.
why you gotta shake your hands.
Hello! Hello and welcome.
Yo.
Welcome back, guys.
I don't need to shake carbonated cans, thank you very much.
Yeah, so I mean, casting the
Skip
spell,
Skeletor.
I'll use... Oh, wait, does he come back at full HP? Yeah, right?
No, it does not.
No. Okay, so
Until
then
you
I
finish
will...
this, he is treated almost as if he's in like a coma-like state.
Okay.
But he's alive.
He's alive. He will have a heartbeat.
Then I will use one of my 5th level spells and alter it into... Oh, no, it was a 3rd level? Yeah, I'll use a 3rd level spell and change it to Cure Critical. Yeah, Cure Critical.
I mean, technically, you could just... I don't know what's easier for you to just cast a spell. Because Cure Critical is... It's going to be a little much. It's pretty much not necessary. Because remember, like, it doesn't... It doesn't...
I can't see the damage though, so I mean, I wouldn't just be like, yeah, no, this seems about right. Like, I'm literally drawing someone back from death, so I mean, as much
okay, makes sense.
life as I can put into someone.
Yeah, right now Ulhime is going full overkill.
Okay, so yeah,
I got you.
It's gonna be 4th level Cure Critical, 48 plus 9 because of my level.
Plus
I'm
9?
also going.
Yeah, it caps out at plus 20. It's 48 plus 1 per level.
Yeah, but you're level 10.
That's right. That's what I was saying. 40 plus 10.
Yeah, go for it.
I am going to console Elliot, who ran into the back. I don't know where, but somewhere
24.
back here.
Okay.
So as the spell finishes up, I'll quickly move Griffin's hand, and then almost like a slap to his chest, I'll bring my symbol down, and then I'll cast Cure Critical, and like kind of like, I guess, push his chest down to kind of start his heartbeat again.
Sure. With the slap to the chest and the almost like the burn of your shield bearer sigil into him, you hear a and his hand curls up, but he's still unconscious. He lays there breathing.
Yeah. As that happens, like I said, that black energy of death that kind of crept into me, that's kind of just still lingering. You see me just roll up to the side. I'm like, Master Griffin, he will be okay. He will be okay. Just give him some time. He's gonna be okay.
You know that in a week, if you do not finish this resurrection,
yeah,
he will be fine. He will live, but you will die. You will have given your life for his.
Yeah. Kind of taking in that pain of death, as it were. I'll use my shield to kind of help me leverage back up. Give me just a moment, Mr. Griffin. I need to console someone else. Look after your boy. And I'll, as I stand up, I'll give him a pat on his shoulder and walk over to the hooded gentleman.
Klaus, you have no idea what you just witnessed. Because you can tell that the boy is not... He's not out of the woods, right? Like, he's still drooling out of the side of his face. He is different. He's alive, so to speak, but you know that Ulhime has done something. However,
right. And
at what cost?
It's been several minutes since I started looking for vitals and signs of life in the boy. So even though he had come up and done something, I likely would have sort of resigned myself to the belief that he's gone and that there's probably no coming back from this.
Right.
However, I would have left my hand likely on his neck near his artery or vein to try and feel for a pulse, see if there's anything at all.
Yeah.
So as I'm looking up and getting ready to try to break the news to Griffin, even in his distraught state, hoping that something will get through, that he'll understand me, would I feel his heartbeat come back, at least faintly?
Not even faintly. It's strong.
Really?
It's very strong.
Okay.
Like, he just ran a marathon. Or like he just ran out of Pharasma's boneyard.
I'm going to kind of furrow my brow and re-examine him. He appears to be breathing normally, as far as I can tell. Heart's pumping. Griffin, I think he's okay. I think your boy is alive.
He is at an incredible loss for words. Like, you can see him, he opens his mouth, but you only hear like like he doesn't know what he's gonna say. There are no words for what he's feeling. No words.
Given his inability to kind of communicate his feelings, I'm just going to take his good hand and guide it towards Jimothy's throat to feel for himself and kind of give him a sense of his son still being there and not completely leaving him at this point.
Sure. When he feels the pulse, he just breaks down. You can tell that this is far more than just the loss of his son, that Griffin never really got over the mourning of his wife. And he's been having, like, he's had a really hard road. He's not strong enough to defend his people. He's definitely not strong enough to defend his family. He's taken you guys on as heroes, but every opportunity to, he chooses to disbelieve what people have said about the Flurry. And he's never had any kind of, like, close on the case of his wife. But somehow he knows it's tied to you guys. His only real friend, or at least believed to be real friend, was Cicada. And Cicada died, came back again, and then is nowhere to be found. Like, if there was ever a person to be depressed, it's this fucking guy, right? Like, he's had it rough. And now he's just overwhelmed. He's just going to clutch his son, even with his battered and damaged hand, and he's going to hold on to him and just kind of shake and cry.
I'm going to kind of rise from my kneeling position and put a hand on Griffin's shoulder. And Klaus doesn't normally allow himself to be overcome, but in this situation, given his ties with this family and everything that they've been through together as a unit, even if they don't necessarily consider me as close as I might think of them, this feels like an important moment that needs to be shared between all of us and not something that he needs to deal with on his own.
Sure. When you grip his shoulder and you start feeling these deep feelings, give me a will save.
Okay. $26.
Klaus, you don't have any visions. You don't feel like anything's coming over your body, but you get a sense of longing that is sort of supernatural. And you do kind of like have a hint of a memory sort of choke back to you. And somehow it involves Balthar. Somehow it involves Balthar. You see yourself staring at the body of Balthar. He's alive. He's well. And you're quite literally before you, you're watching sparks dance over his body. And every time the sparks dance over his body, it seems to singe the hair off of each spot that it dances off of. And each, like, snap that happens, it, like, hisses and whispers your name. You don't honestly know what it means. You don't know where this memory has come from. But you do believe that it is somehow tied to
Would I feel like this is more of a premonition or more like a lucid dream where I feel like I'm standing there as it's happening?
It's like a third-person lucid dream.
Okay. Given I have no idea why this is happening or what it means, and also given the weight of the situation surrounding me physically, it's going to be a processing moment. It's going to take me a while to really figure out what's happening.
Okay. That's fine. I want to step over to Deia. Deia, you have you've pushed the son, Elliot, the older son, into the kitchen, who at this point the waterworks are flowing.
Yeah.
He's panicking, he's freaking out. Go ahead.
I wouldn't say anything. I would just kind of hold him in my arms and just kind of give him someone to, like, a shoulder to cry on.
Sure.
More than just figuratively.
For every passing second that he hears his father moan out in wails and pangs of distress, you sense like this rhythm in him that it matches it. You know, they're two in tune. And then there's a pause after 30 or 40 seconds, and Elliot just holds his breath, waiting. And then you hear the cries again, but this is a very different pitch, a very different kind of tremor of emotion. Elliot sort of shakes free of your grasp, and he pushes the door open, and he sees Ulhime step away from behind the counter, Klaus move up, and Klaus says, I believe your son is fine. I believe he's going to live. And once this happens, Elliot runs over to his father immediately, and like they close rank, right? They're pretty much just they're creating a dome over Jimothy at this point.
I would then take side because I was positive he was dead.
100%.
In my head.
Yes.
So I would be a little bit more than confused because I didn't witness any of this happen.
Klaus seems a little befuddled, right? Like he's I don't get it. I don't understand it. But I think your son is going to live. And
I wouldn't ask or say anything either. I would just kind of wonder, but just try and console the family.
Sure. And consoling you can do. Son, what does this look like for you? What are you doing?
Trying to heal the injured others, the civilians who got hurt but didn't die.
Sure.
Just kind of jumping from person to person, making sure everyone's, not bleeding from newfound orifices.
Right. Some people have dislocated body parts, shoulders.
Yeah, so
you're going to take your time.
Shoulders back in. I'm just making sure.
Resetting the body parts, splinting off of the damaged chairs and tables and floorboards. You're going to send a lot of people home tonight. But there's nothing you can do about the 7 dead men.
No, God no. Not happy about that, but they were dead before I could even get over there.
Sure.
So no, they didn't die in my hands. Kind of thing.
You can tell that this room has been ransacked by carnage. It's daunting to say the least. Before you were dealing with supernatural threat, right? Like this has just been, we just cut this guy and then that's the end of it. Nobody else has to die. But now you're actually seeing the repercussions of them invading your hometown, or at least your new hometown, as opposed to you guys going to them. This has been a personal attack.
Sunn's gonna I'm assuming that I've been able to successfully get everyone sent home and everything.
At least everyone that's alive, yes.
Yeah, Sunn's gonna, at that point, he's gonna basically start walking around the bar, putting chairs, standing back up, sitting the tables over, and just kind of doing like just menial work and fixing up the bar kind of thing.
Sure, you're doing the best that you can, and you try to place it back together, but it's just,
obviously I can't mend like the giant broken wall from sonic damage,
right?
Or the black tentacle mass tables.
Exactly. So you do the best you can.
At least
set everything back up. You gather all of the loose timber that couldn't be used in the splinting. You've reset the shoulders. You've sent everybody home. That's going to take some time.
Quite a bit. Yeah.
And what you find when you're finished, after you've even covered up the body of the man that has died at the table that was split by the claws of the demon, you just find yourself looking around you, shaken, and you sit back down at the table, and you try to finish your ale.
Yeah.
I was
whenever...
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, my bad.
He would basically just kind of take a long sigh, chug whatever like rest in it, and then he's just gonna kind of like put his arms on the table and just gonna kind of.
Sure. Before you, Xander.
I was gonna say before I start walking to him, assessing the damage. I just need to know: is this smaller than 100 cubic feet overall?
The bar.
The main room that we're in, where all the destruction was caused.
Cubic feet. It's relatively small.
Well, 100 cubic feet would be 5 squares by 5 squares.
Yeah, this place is a little bigger than that.
It's 11 by 11, roughly, give or take, because of this little back room back here.
So the whole place would be roughly that. A large portion of the place would be within that cubic footage.
When you're talking about cubic,
It'd be like
give
a
me square
fourth of the
foot.
room.
Give me square foot. Well, like, why are you looking for cubic feet? What does it matter?
Because I have a spell called Make Whole, and it's
121.
It's one. It says one object up to 10 cubic feet per level, or one whole construct.
Yes.
So I was trying to figure out if there was any way to
It should be 100.
I can start casting spell. But okay, that's
20
fine.
times five.
It's fine. I'll deal with it in a bit. But yeah, I'll make my way over to the gentleman after I have finished rezzing.
Okay. Before you see what looks to be an older gentleman. His cowl is brushed down to his shoulders. He has gray hair, black eyebrows, brown eyes. He looks very nondescript. The only thing that seems to have any kind of characteristics whatsoever is his staff. His staff is obviously it's like a wizard's or a spellcaster staff, and it has a brilliant amber stone in the top of it. It's obviously like it's a spiritual focus if he had one.
Before anything else, I'll extend my hand out to him. Thank you for your help.
He extends his as well, but it's almost odd for him to do so. You can see that there's some pullback in his response. Like he's just not sure he wants to yet, but he does shake your hand, and you'll note that it sort of feels a little different to you. It just doesn't feel right. The way that he grips your hand, and then he'll nod, kind of biting.
Like he's not comfortable with the trust, essentially. Of that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's no problem. And then before we can start talking, I'll grab a chair or a stool that's available, and I'll put up a seat just behind him, and then one in front of myself next to the table that we're at.
Sure. He'll take a seat.
I honestly, I don't know where to begin. You've come here with some purpose, unless the gods themselves happen to smile upon us this day and just happen to put you in our graces. But once again, thank you for the help. My name is Ulhime Shieldbearer. And who might you be, friend?
My name is Korofan.
Korofan.
Yes, Korofan.
The magic that you were using, I have the ability to cast that spell myself, but not to such a magnitude, not to such potency to begin with.
Yes,
I
am quite adept at spell casting.
Duly noted. And once again, like I said, for your assistance, I thank you. And I do apologize if you had to give up something precious to cast such a spell. If there's any way that we can repay you for such a service, then please let me know, and I will do everything in my power to have that done.
I don't believe that's necessary. I felt a grave threat surface here in Cauldron, and I was drawn here.
Understood, friend. Speaking to this grave threat, Can you elaborate more onto it, please?
Much to my surprise, I found myself here moments after I heard the prophet's words inside my head. I suppose that I'm the sign of the smoking eye, and I'm to find it.
Sign of the smoking eye? What do you mean?
Someone here has done something. The smoking eye is a test. It's a test created by the former ruler of the plane. A plane called Occipitus, who disappeared years ago. Whoever passes the test of the smoking eye becomes the new rightful ruler of Occipitus. I know the test has 3 parts, each hidden somewhere on Occipitus. Passing the first test of the smoking eye reveals the location of the second, and so on. I stumbled upon the location of the first test, but I'm not powerful enough to pass it. The prophet's final words gave me hope that someone here has sufficient and true power, which is why I've come here. The prophet's words led me here, and then I felt the disturbance.
This prophet, can you tell me anything more about him?
He was a man from this town. At least I am led to believe.
Understood. And
Did you not slay a great evil? Are you not who I look for?
I have slain evils within this bar, and some of the common thieves and rabble that seem to patrol the city every once in a while, but I do not know if I'm the man you're looking for. I doubt that I am. We do have one that I just joined up with, one by the name of Klaus. He currently inhabits the body of a stronger entity from the past.
Maybe you should draw your friends nearer.
I'll do that. If you would excuse me, I will go gather them right now.
He nods.
Doing that, I'll walk over to Sunn first and just kind of tap his shoulder a bit. The gentleman over there would like to speak with us. If you can you bring him to this table? We have a little more room to talk.
Sunn will he'll push himself up, and then he's going to very calmly and quietly walk over to the bar. And when he gets there, he's going to tap Klaus on the shoulder, and I'm sorry. What was your character's name again? I'm looking at the overlay, and it's not Pathos. So,
Ulhime.
I wanted to say Ulgrim, but I'm like, that's
no.
not,
It's also in Roll20.
Okay, that's what I should do.
Right.
Oh wow, that's a K, not a C for J. Okay. Ulhime wants us to speak with that spellcaster over there. We're all gonna go back to the table where we were at before this happened. Make sure you can gather Deia, and I'll go get Jakob. And then he's just gonna kind of walk away.
Good son. I'll fetch my friend if you don't mind.
Sure. And then he's just gonna kind of sit back where his drink was.
Okay.
The
man will rise from the table and draw a chair to the end of the table itself.
I'll head up to the second floor and head up to the room that we had reserved before the incident took place.
Okay.
You're not even going to have to go that far. Jacob's actually sitting at the head of the stairs.
Okay. So, making my way up, kind of expecting to have to walk the whole flight. I see him at the top of the stairs, but I kind of stop at the first few steps, and then quietly start making my way up.
Meanwhile, Jacob's just sitting at the top step, and he's hugging himself as hard as he can because he saw that kid dead. And you have to picture it. He's been slashed, gouged, stabbed. He's covered in another man's blood along with his own. He is a red, bleached monstrosity. And he's just doing everything he can to hold it in as he sits there and utterly shivers because he knows he's stepped over a line.
Sure.
One that he's basically put forward to himself. And he's not handling it well.
Ulhime, putting the shield sling on his back, looks down at Jakob. You did what you thought was right. In the heat of battle, we can't make such accurate decisions. These things happen.
He's just a boy. He was just a boy.
He's gonna be fine.
No, it's not gonna be fine. I killed him. The guard's gonna string me up in the town square, and I can't blame them. They're gonna kill me.
Ulhime grabs Jacob's chin and just lifts it up. He goes, "He's gonna be fine, friend. He's gonna be fine."
Oh, I'm friend. I understand what you're trying to do, but I saw him. I'm no angel. I've killed men before. I've killed many men.
Look,
But I've never killed a child.
I understand, and the burden is relatable. I understand the pain that you're going through. But as I've said, you need not worry. I have released him from his burden. And thus I have released you from yours.
What? What are you talking about? Released him from his burden.
I think at that point he would probably see the blackish opaqueness in the eyes, right? Like the
you would see that his eyes are this almost milky gray color around the color itself. He has these darkness that like lingers down his neck, sort of like how your tentacles rose up from the earth itself. Now you can see that these tentacles are much smaller in notion, sort of rise up out of the birth of his armor and around his neck, gripping on
so
this person.
he's seeing these black lines following.
Yeah,
his
blackened
name.
veins and stuff.
And as an arcane user, he would know this effect, right?
Maybe this is more of a divine feature, and it's like a lineage and racial thing.
Ulhime, what did you do?
As I said, I've released him from his burden. The boy will be fine.
Ulhime, no. What did you do?
I contacted Helm, my deity, and he sent a messenger in his place. And we struck a bargain. He's putting me through a trial of a shield bearer. Nothing more.
Ulhime, what did you bargain? What did you do?
I took his death unto me. I have I have about a half a moon cycle before the fate of the child becomes my own. Jakob, friend, why do you look so perturbed? This is the shield bearer trial that I've been seeking. That's the reason I left home. The Protector's Hall.
I've killed you.
I still live, my friend. Look at me. I'm perfectly fine. It was but a moment of pain, and I drew the death out of him. Nothing more. As I said, this is the duty of a shield bearer.
No, I understand, and I'm grateful. Deeply, deeply grateful. But this is my fault.
It is not your fault.
This isn't a burden you should carry. I killed a child. And yes, you may have taken it unto yourself. You may have reversed the wrong, but it still means I did this. And now, instead of killing him, I've killed my friend?
You haven't done anything wrong. As I've said, a mistake made on the battlefield that no one can hold you accountable for. No one will hold you accountable for. Everything is fine. And as I've said, I will be okay. I have been given the necessary knowledge to reverse the effects. If the trial goes through, then
Ulhime, tell me you're not being cavalier about this. There's a way that this doesn't kill you.
Yes, I need the components to reverse the effect. Kind of appeasement to Helm, if you will, to show my worth as a shield bearer. Without it, I would be just another hitman, a traveling cleric, healing the ruffians that I dreaded so long ago. This gives me purpose.
Give me a sense motive, Jacob, please.
Sure thing. Sense motive. It's probably not one of my good ones. No, that's actually a really shit one for me.
Okay.
But not too bad. 16.
Jacob, you can't tell if he's telling the truth or not. There's nothing immediately discernible about this. It could just be him being cavalier, but he could also just be trying to remove your fears. Either way, he's not in tears at the moment. He's trying to right a wrong.
But no, Jacob's going to kind of lash out, just reach out and grab him by his armor and pull him closer. This is something I'm going to fix. You ask it of me. Whatever it is, I'll do it. If it doesn't even begin to write what I've done, but I am your man.
It's the same favor that I've always asked of you. Always strive to be a better person. And stay at my side if we ever get into another bar fight, because those things hurt. Come on.
God.
Enough of this
Ulhime.
melancholy. Nope. Enough of the melancholy, chat.
Yeah,
We have a
and
guest waiting
Jacob's
for us.
Gonna sit back and just rub the tears from his eyes that he's yet to shed, and just give a helpless laugh at the foolish optimism, because he was already jaded before, but to see somebody who is on the brink of dying, who knows his death is coming, it's too much for him to take with a straight face. Gentle fool. All right.
Ulhime stands from his crouch position and marches back down the steps. And he will seat himself at the table.
And Jacob will follow along with.
Okay. Klaus, Deia.
Granted,
Once Sunn comes over and tells Klaus to tell me as I'm standing right next to him, I would just say, you go, whatever it is can't involve me that much. I think it would be better if I stayed with the family for now. If it's very important and I need be there, come seek me, but until then, I'm sure you can relay the information to me afterwards.
I understand. I will relay the information to you. If you need to hear it at the moment, then I'll come fetch you. But please, just anything they need, take care of it. If need be, I'll compensate you, no matter what the cost.
You need not worry about compensation.
It's very noble of you. And I'm going to step away towards the table.
Okay. As you make your way over to the table, you see that the rest of your allies or newfound friends have made their way there. If you would move your token, Jacob, please, that would be great. Put him back, back to the table, where you each will see that sitting at the end is a man. Deia, give me a perception.
21.
Deia, when you casually glance over, not thinking anything of the situation, you see that evil that lurks within Jacob. But it seems a little larger than normal. A little larger. And as you kind of glance back down or start to close your eye, you realize that the figure next to him is also evil.
Duh, you caught me.
Definitely not Sunn. Definitely not Sunn. He emits an evil aura, and you can actually see immediately through. Remember how you saw the trumpet archons and you thought that there was something else there?
Yep.
When you focused on the monocle, you can see, you saw through it and you saw the hags. This is very similar in this case. You're seeing through an illusion. And through this illusion, you can see a medium, like it's a medium-sized humanoid, but he looks very different. He's concealing his true image.
Can I tell what he looks like beyond the veil, or would I have to get a closer look?
It's a little hard to see through it. You just see
It's
the image, the image that he wants you to see, and you're kind of like witnessing his body actually kind of move through that vision. If you were closer, yes, you would be able to see more, but in this case, you're not sure.
As long as he's not attacking my members yet, it's not of immediate concern until I can talk to my allies about it afterwards, or if any action is necessary.
Sure. When you all sit down, this individual introduces himself after clearing his throat. My name is Korofan. Forgive me for not arriving sooner. It was my intention to prevent anything terrible from happening, but as we can see, many have died here today.
And once again, we are in your thanks for giving us aid. If you don't mind, can you explain to them what you explained to me before we parted?
Right. I had come here after hearing the words of a prophet in my head, saying that I was to seek the sign of the smoking eye. Klaus, you actually that's a perception, Deia.
Yep. Out of 10.
Oh god, even or odd. This is. Do you have any inspiration at all?
I do. I do have my inspiration.
He's desperately been holding on to that bitch.
14.
Okay, thank God. Using up that inspiration, you're going to hear, you're going to overhear this figure say something regarding seeking the signs of the smoking eye. And You know that those are the last words spoke to you by Alec Tercival.
Yep.
As Nidrama.
Yep. I know I need to be here for the family right now, but I am going to head over just to over here. It's not much I can do with the family right now. I can console them, but they're all in shambles right now.
Sure. You notice, Klaus, that despite what he's just said, Deia, actually moves over to the table. She stands at the end. It seems as something has piqued her interest.
Would this be like a magical order or something that he's talking about?
Are you asking out of game?
Yeah, I'm asking out of game.
Okay, out of game. There was something specifically that was told to Deia, and if you wanted to find out a bit more, let's see if there's something that you guys can actually roll.
Well, I mean, the Order of the Smoking Eye or what have you. I'm just wondering if this is something like a known arcane challenge, something that we might know of.
Okay, no. Actually, you guys would not know about it.
Okay. Yeah. I was just wondering if I could do a knowledge check.
No, unfortunately, you are not going to know anything about it. But he's before you, and he said these things. Deia, you walk over to the table. Do you have anything that you'd like to say?
First, I want to see if I can see a bit better through the veil that he's put up.
Yes, you can. Since you've moved over, you can see that it is illusory, but you can see most of the way through it. It still lingers over the top of him, but the figure that you're seeing is this.
Got goddamn ET here.
Remember, he is medium-sized. ET was probably like that of a gnome.
Yeah, that's true.
He's sitting and speaking to each of you.
As you spoke. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jacob is going to kind of rock a little over in his chair. Well, we do, again, thank you for interloping, but what is this you speak of, the smoking eye? I like to think I'm rather well-read and knowledgeable on such things, but you're obviously a man of the arcane, and
before we go on talking much further, sorry to cut you off, but would you mind, sir, whatever your name is, just show them what you really are so that they fully understand?
He
kind of raise an eyebrow, look over to Deia.
His left hand fumbles off of the table, and he kind of mutters to himself briefly for a moment. And he says, my true form isn't as pleasant as this one, and I wanted to make sure that you'd hear my plea.
I will hear your plea. Despite what you look like, you're still human. As long as you don't attack, I don't see you having any malicious intent.
Okay. He
hearing
drops...
that
Go ahead.
Yeah, hearing that he's talking about himself, Jacob at first thought she was talking to him and kind of giving her that look like, bitch, I'm a tiefling. And yeah, just throwing that out there.
He drops the illusion before you. And before, you're not looking at an older man. You're looking at someone that's part something else. It's not anything that you've seen before. It's not quite like looking at a tiefling. This man is some kind of demon blood in him. It's very distinguishable.
More demon than human at that point, or humanoid at that point.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Seeing that, I mean, it's like Deia said, he hasn't really done anything to us, and to judge him off race wouldn't make much sense, since I already have a friend that's kind of in a similar situation. So it would just kind of be one of those like, oh, okay.
Forgive me. My heritage is a bit less forthcoming, and people tend to run unabashedly. They strike out. My form isn't, like I said, as pleasing.
Preaching to the choir, brother.
You're amongst safe company. You have nothing to fear from us.
As I was saying, my name is Corophon, and I am here to find heroes. The prophet spoke of heroes.
I've heard of the Smoking Eye only once, and recently. Must I tell the story, or do you have some sort of idea?
I know what the Smoking Eye is. It is a test. It's been created by the former ruler of a plane in the abyss who disappeared years ago. Whoever passes this test becomes the new rightful ruler of Occipitus. I know the test has 3 parts, each somewhere hidden on the plane. Passing the first will reveal the location of the second, and so on. I have stumbled upon the location of the first, but I am not powerful enough to pass it. The prophet's final words gave me hope that you would have sufficient power.
Would I know anything about these tests at all? Any idea of, any past? I know Nadrum only said seek the Smoking Eye, and when the opportunity arises, we'll know. But I don't know if I know anything about it.
If you have knowledge religion, you can take a check, but it's going to be a hard challenge. Or knowledge planes.
I have religion.
Same.
You get one or the other.
I do have knowledge planes.
Please identify what it is that you're using when you roll it.
Knowledge religion.
Mine's just pretty low.
Okay.
I got 15.
That is a failure. Deia, that is a failure.
Yep.
All right.
This one's planes, I think, on Jacob.
Okay.
Yeah, this is going to be planes. 18.
That is a failure.
No problem.
I know not of the trials or of much of Occipitus, as you call it, but I was contacted by someone of higher power to seek the Smoking Eye, and I know not much more than that.
Well, so, my good sir, you spoke of the first trial and its location. Where is it, and what is it, since you seem to have information on this?
It's inside of Occipitus. It's a part of the abyss right now. But if the right person passes the test of the Smoking Eye, he could separate it from the lower planes. Perhaps it would become a demiplane. Or perhaps it would again return to Celestia. The first test. You must enter a hidden chamber within a ruined celestial cathedral. There you must choose one of 2 doors. One with a demon behind it, and the other with a guardian.
You said 2 doors, one with a demon behind it, another one with...
A guardian. Remember, if at any point you guys believe that you want to sort of like see if he's lying to you, if you want to sense the situation, there's always an opportunity to do that. You don't just have to like be here like open gob.
I think
I
swallowing what he's
accept
saying.
the Lady in the Tiger Hall attack that he's laying out for us.
I think due to him being evil, I would constantly be seeing if I can tell any flaws with his conversation. I can roll the
You could accuse him. That's never naturally a bad thing. I mean, you have the upper hand here.
Yeah, okay. So After he was done talking about the
Occipitus?
about the two doors, like right after he had finished talking about how there's one with a guardian and one with a demon behind it.
Yeah.
I'd say, how do we know you're telling the truth? How do I know this isn't all some elaborate ruse that's come about?
What reason would I have to lie? I have nothing to gain from lying.
Can I sense motive that? Or, yeah.
Sure. I mean, you can try.
$19?
You don't think he has any reason to lie. Exactly what he said. In that particular sentence, he doesn't really have a reason to lie to you. He's literally, like, he's come here looking for your help. And that's not a ruse. That's not a lie. That's the outright truth.
Okay. I'll look over to Deia and just kind of give her a nod.
Jacob's going to pipe up at this point. Well, you've already said that whoever passes this test gets to be a ruler of this occipita that you mentioned.
Yes, this is
You're
true.
obviously very strong. Why would you seek anyone out to become the ruler of a place that you've already tried to pass the test for and obviously want to rule? It's like seeking a king for a kingdom that you want to rule.
It's a good question. I tried to do the trial myself. I believe that I was strong enough. I believe that there is strength in numbers. I was nearly taken. Upon my trial, I had thought that I could best the demon, but not a guardian. And upon my efforts, I was nearly slain before I exited.
So you're looking for us to be your mercenaries?
If it comes to that, yes, but I do believe that you will free Occipitus from the Abyss and return it to Celestia. There are a number of very powerful armaments in Celestia, more so in the cathedral.
This cathedral you speak of, which one is it?
In the past, it was called the Cathedral of Feathers.
And now?
Now it is merely a cathedral in Occipitus, being possessed by any number of demons that so call it home.
So you're literally asking us to go to hell?
Yes.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone tell me that and mean it literally. But that having been said, and at this point he's going to look across the table to Ulhime, it may be that we don't have the time to invest in such a venture. Is that not correct, friend?
I'm afraid that you
We
don't
can
have many
make the time.
options. That this is also within your best interest.
We can make the time, friend. And us trying to deviate away from fate only brings us that much closer to it. We can help them.
If you believe that this is the last attempt at your life by demonic forces, you're truly mistaken. And I understand, and I'd wish to quash any ideas that I was behind this. I can see you peering at me through that spiderling on your face, and you believe me to be a threat. Mistress, I assure you, what you're detecting is my unfortunate heritage. My father was a fiend. Not an adjective, but in nature he was actually a fiend. I was born and bred through a dalliance, lustful provocation, which led to my fiendish heritage. The blood that flows througheth my vein is not holy. But just as I am trying to purify my own soul, so too am I attempting to end the battle between good and evil on Excipitus. I hope that someday my aura will be as pure as yours. And in any event, the evil that taints my soul is a pale shadow to those who have risen against you in Cauldron.
Jakob just looks to Ulhime and nods his own assent. Just a silent way of saying, you go, I go.
I can take us there, believe it or not. But it would require a form of divination at first, so I can at least get an accurate read as to where we're going. By chance, would you happen to have any components of this cathedral feathers itself?
No worries, I will supply you with passage to and from.
Very well.
It's an area that I specify in.
Understood. But before we give you any final answer, and I do understand that there is a dire situation in many perspectives, this would come down to a unanimous consensus if everyone is okay with it. And should one of us back down, then none of us will go.
Please consider the following. Use whatever you have to your means. I am assuming that you'll need time to rest and gather your gear. Heal first.
Yes, that is true. Ulhime slowly turns over to the rest of the group. What say all of you?
You know my answer.
Klaus, this figure is chumming up. He's chumming up way too easy, and he said some things that probably would have made you question the validity of it. Particularly, something that he said regarding threats against you in Cauldron. This is declaratively his first time in Cauldron. So how does he know anything about anything in Cauldron? It would probably raise some red flags.
Right. Say, what leads you to believe that there are threats against us in Cauldron?
I am afraid that I know precious little. But I am aware that there has been a group orchestrating the troubles in your town from behind the scenes. They are known as the Cage-Rights.
Cage-Rights, you say?
Yes, they are the source of the unrest in your city.
How did you come to hear of them?
Because I used to work for them. He says, slack-jawed.
What did you do for them, and why are you no longer associated?
They were dealing with tedious things. Their agents were involved in kidnappings and thefts that plagued Cauldron. They had dealings with half-dwarf men. I fear their true goals for the region are much more sinister. Alas, I'm not sure what they intend to do. It has something to do with a planar ritual, but beyond that, I cannot say.
Do you have any sense motive to discern whether he's giving us the entire truth here?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. It's wisdom check. We're gonna try.
You're certainly wiser than I am.
14.
Klaus, it's true. It seems as if the Cage-Rights never seem to entrust him with details of their goals, and he's not lying in regards to him working with them.
Mhm.
He goes on to say, "My research into the nature of occipitus drew their attention, and for a time they tried to convince me to join their organization permanently. I went along with them for a time, hoping to use them to further my own goals. Yet soon I came to realize the simple fact that they were all mad. I've left them to their lunacy."
Be that as it may, you must understand this situation seems a little suspect to us. I don't believe that you are misleading us in terms of occipitus and the trials we must face ahead, nor do I believe that they are outside of our interests. However, the circumstances are just a little too perfect, don't you think?
I figure that you may say that. I was under the same situation. I believe that you have recently come into contact with a Caterite, and he is now attempting to end your lives. My guess now is those hideous demon creatures, the Babos. If I had to guess, I'd say that your recent actions against the forces of evil has gotten you noticed by the Caterites, and that they have been sent here to finish you off.
Do the Caterites often practice in summoning of evil beings and creating mayhem?
When I was last with them, yes. I had assisted in their understanding of extraplanar portals.
Then let me ask you this. Do you know of the attacks upon Cauldron, the many evil creatures that have been summoned?
Unfortunately, I do not. I am not aware of the tidings of what they've done in this town.
There have been many incidents. Many were killed by creatures that had no reason to be here, seemingly, and we, upon investigation, we found there to be some summoning rituals located around the town, or at least the remnants of them. If the Caterites are behind these rituals, then you are correct in saying that this definitely lies within our interests. We really must stop them before anything worse happens.
My thoughts exactly. Now, you're probably all wondering, what could be in it for Corophon? Why would I be giving you this information? You see, I want to see a new direction for Occipitus, and I have the sense that it has a crucial role to play in a battle between good and evil. Finally, I may finally have a place to call home. Jacob, he looks to you, and he kind of nods in a situation that's like, you feel me?
Looking around the table, in all honesty, does anyone here covet such a power? This place of Occipitus, the ability to rule it. Does anyone here, and he kind of knocks his hand on the table, do any of you hearing this covet this power right now?
So,
And he
will not pipe up.
he looks over to Jacob.
Right now, you know my sole goal.
Okay. Klaus, is this a power that you would potentially covet?
I honestly cannot say at the moment.
Lady Deia?
I don't know if we're capable of doing what's been asked of us, but I know that I'm not going to stop trying to rid this world of evil. And I know that aiding in Occipitus is going to help in our plane as well, so...
If that's the case, if I myself am not seeking this power in particular, why don't we give it to Corafon? Why don't we help him complete this trial and have him run it? This is a place he wants to make his home. If this is a power that none of us are actually after, then why not just help a man in need?
Well, in the end, I think that's a bridge we should worry about crossing when we come to it. In the meantime, though, if it's just a matter of doing the right thing, certainly. I mean, after all, I may not mind being the ruler of a place like that in the end, but my goals right now are, you know.
Very well. Well, until otherwise noted, Master Corafon, since he will be our guide, we will help you reclaim this place Occipitus. I will not lie. I do not know your true intentions, whether they be for the better or for the worse, but you have come to us in need, and I want to help you any way I can. I can understand what it's like to be on the outside, wanting to have a home. And if a home is what you seek, then I would be wrong to try to deprive you of that, or to turn a blind eye to that need.
I'm afraid that this is not the place for me to rest this eve. If you have a room that I may stay in.
We've booked one already here. If you don't feel comfortable, then you can redon your disguise, and I can escort you to the room. You can take my cabin for the night.
He grabs at his staff, and you see him kind of pucker his lips and blow some wind into the amber orb, and as it illuminates, the illusion kind of trickles back over his body.
No problem. As that happens, I mean, I can't tell if he's able to walk on his own or not, but I'll kind of like guide him to the room.
Sure.
And I'll give him my room for the evening.
Okay.
Once that's done, I'll walk back downstairs unless everyone else is dispersing. I want to use the rest of my night to redo all my spells into Make Whole and start repairing as much of the tavern as possible. Just all my second level spells are going to be Make Whole, and then just start fixing as much shit as I can.
Sure. Okay.
I would not sleep tonight. Most of my time would be spent with the family, and more or less, well, if I did sleep, not much, but, you know, I don't sleep much anyways. Most of my time would be spent consoling the family, which I figure wouldn't be sleeping much anyways.
Okay. Well, that being said, that's where I'm going to be ending tonight's session.
Oof.
Nice. Good session.
Hey, that's better than the cliffhanger he left us on last time.
Let's go ahead and take care of our inspiration. So, who's tonight's best role player?
Everyone did
Yes.
really good, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Honestly, everyone did really good.
I would maybe throw it to Ulhime.
Okay. All right. So we've got one vote for Ulhime,
I'd say Ulhime.
2 for Ulhime. Deia?
At 3.
All right. That's majority. Majority vote. Ulhime's going to take the role play of the night. Who had the most clutch roll?
I would have to go ahead and say it was probably Klaus.
Yeah.
With
You
what?
know, that Sonic screen.
Okay.
That shit was dope.
That was just, I mean, if we're talking about the most effective and funnest one to watch, that was definitely it. But
I've got to give it to Deia.
Yeah, I would throw it her way personally.
I think Deia stopped Klaus from dying.
I know Deia stopped me from dying.
Deia's rolls impacting hitting every time. I think it stopped Klaus from dying. Kept Klaus in combat. Like, literally dying. Seeking out a new body, dying.
Yeah, because he had the most
There is
consistent.
that. There is
He had the
that.
most consistent damage going out the whole game.
It's just hard to remember since Deia is always so fucking quiet about it. Just like, oh, I smite this one.
Yeah, I don't really
It's-
gloat about my damage like you guys do. I just kind of do the damage and move on.
Oh, subtle, Innie. Subtle.
Spoken.
Eat it, dick.
I'm gonna be 100% honest.
All right, you guys did tonight with no luck rerolls, actually, which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. I know that you would have much rather had your luck rerolls, but in this case, you did all right. However, with the coming weeks, you're gonna need them because you're going to hell. Like, legitimately.
In a handbasket.
Well, fuck. Everyone tells me to go. I may as well take a sight. Just go sightseeing.
So, chat, last one's up to you. Who was tonight's MVP? Your choice. You guys decide. I want to see some votes roll in. I got like 90 of you dudes up in here watching. Y'all better hit me with it. Cast your vote. Who was tonight's most valuable player? God damn it. So I got to vote for Jakob. A vote for not Jakob. Jakob for murdering a child. Jakob.
Jakob.
Pathos. Okay, all right. Sniper, so that's Jakob. That's a lot going for Jakob. Deia, Jakob for chat inspiration. You came in at the end. You can, I mean, anybody could vote. We got another Deia. Sniper's a kid killer. Damn. Damn. It's
I
true.
think I managed
he
to go ahead
didn't-
and pull up a new fucking name.
I mean, you didn't kill a child. You killed an early
No.
teen, late teen. Aren't they in their late
They're
teens? I've
early.
always imagined them being like 16, 17 maybe.
Elliot is like 16 or 17.
And then
Jimothy is
Jimothy
like
was like 13.
11.
Okay.
He's
See,
a
it's-
young one.
See, because when I imagine killing kids, I jump back to shrub neck snack.
Wait, when you imagine killing kids?
It was when we played Sunless.
What do you do in your downtime again?
I reminisce about old D&D campaigns. That's all I do.
He's
24/7.
lying.
It is all I do. I sit here all day and I'm just like, remember when I got gender bent?
You fucking play League and smoke pot. Shut up.
That's just summed up 98% of Austin's day.
No, that's not 98%
Actually,
of my day. That's
considering
half my
how much
day.
he plays League, yes, I would genuinely believe he thinks about
The
killing
other
kids.
50% is complaining about League and his job.
Mhm.
Yeah, mostly
Yeah.
the job.
I will say that the roleplay between Jakob and Ulhime it was nutty, man. That was it was good roleplay.
They've only been there for 2 sessions, but they've consistently proven to be solid between in their relationship, I suppose. I don't
Yeah.
know how else to put that to not sound like a fucking creeper, but
No, I mean that's
Their
the truth.
relationship is solid, bro.
They're bros. They got the bromance going, and they need it. They're relying on each other, particularly because Jakob, has nobody else at his back, and Ulhime's like, I gotta give everybody a chance. Jacob's not a bad guy. He's just a little misunderstood.
He's not a bad guy. He's just a fuck up.
It's borderline of mice and men. Oh.
Can I keep it, Ulhime? Can I keep it? It's a little
I'm gonna rename him Lenny.
I am the smartest fucking Lenny out there. Oh, great.
Oh man, but you're still a Lenny.
Tell me about your rabbit, George. Tell me about your rabbits again.
Tell me about the dwarves again.
I will hug him and squeeze him and call him George.
It's true, guys. Post the game, we will be hanging out in Discord. I'll probably do like a 5 or 10 minute game cap with the fellas to talk about the game. And then after that, we'll be hopping on over to the Discord where we can kind of chill out and talk, hang out. So if you haven't checked out the Discord, there's the link. Also, do yourselves a favor and check out the Twitter. I'm available all the time. Even if you're new, I encourage you to come by. Yes, it is my birthday. It's 16 minutes into it.
happy birthday, Bub.
Thank you.
Happy 38th.
First,
So
fuck boy. 31st.
first.
Happy
Happy-
birthday.
Happy 52nd.
fucking
Wait,
hate you
Welcome
guys.
to the surprisingly short road to becoming an old man.
Your gift is I got you a plot in the cemetery.
Here's to middle-age
Congratulations.
crisis. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Who the hell is Miguelito Quixote Loveless?
Exactly what you think they are.
This
What?
is
Doctor.
this
Something
is,
from T.
Yeah, doctor.
this is where I'm just gonna mute them and their naysaying nonsense. I'm not 32. I'm not 52. I'm not 38. I'm 31. Go fuck yourselves. Oh man. Yeah, it's late. It's 12:17 here. I had a great time. You guys did excellently so. I am gonna go ahead and find us someone to love upon. Thank you guys for hanging out tonight and making a difference in my stream. You guys are wonderful. You're wonderful. I'm gonna go ahead and find us a little someone that we could show some love to. What do you say? Let's get down to business and show. I'm gonna show you guys the Lily Vanilli. Lily is currently in creative right now. She is doing animation. We're gonna hop on over to Lily, who's in animation as we speak. She will be joining us tomorrow. Copy that command, even if you don't got it. Copy that command, and we're gonna run on over and show some love. Why can't I copy my own fucking command? It's killing me. It's literally killing me. Yes, we're gonna go ahead and raid on over to Lily whoops, spells her name weird. Vanilli. All right, cats. Hop on over, copy the command. Let's do it, and tell her. You better tell her after you show her, you hit her with a bub love bomb. Then you tell her that she's got to dress up tomorrow. She has to. Has to. She has to dress up tomorrow. I love you guys. See you tomorrow for the stream. Looking forward to carrying crown. Have a good one, guys. Peace. I'm out of here. Deuces.
But refuse to because they know they're just gonna be like, your form is wrong. I know, like, guys, take a chill.